In this video, I'm going to rank every single squad healing item in Fortnite history from worst to best. These are healing items whose effects can be felt by multiple players at one time. I'm going to give an honorable mention at the beginning of this video to the bandage bazooka, because while the other items that are similar to the bazooka, right, like the chug cannon for example, can heal multiple players in the area, the bandage bazooka can only heal a singular player at one time and not multiple players at once, so it cannot be on this list. But I do understand this is typically seen as a squad healing item, so I wanted to make sure it gets the mention it deserves at the beginning of this video. If you do want to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop when you make your next purchase, and leave a comment for me down below telling me what you would like to see me rank next. But with all that being said, let's get into this ranking video. At my number 15 spot, the worst squad healing item of all time, it is the Cozy Campfire. And yes, guys, it pains me to say that because the Cozy Campfire is one of Fortnite's most OG items. But unfortunately, this item really does show its age. This item has aged horribly, and it makes sense, right? Because back, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when this item was more prevalent in the game, Fortnite was a much slower paced game. But now this is one of the fastest battle royale games out there, right? So, to sit there and just take like 30 to 40 seconds, just hang out with your buddies around the campfire, yeah, that's not going to work anymore. Not to mention the actual smoke that comes up from top, literally telling everybody in the area that, yeah, you know what, I am healing right here, and it's white heals, which means I'm probably pretty weak, so why don't you just come jump me, right? So yeah, everything about this item, unfortunately for me, screams last place. At the number 14 spot is the water sprite from Chapter 6. Now, I know everyone loves the water sprite for its cuteness, and I know so many people are going to be upset that I'm ranking it this low on the list, but let's be real, this is not a good healing item at all. It gets versatility because I guess you get multiple uses out of it. You can almost treat it like a little bit of a buffed up version of a chug splash, but the healing is just painfully slow, right? Obviously, you throw down the water sprite, you get the first 20 heals, and then it just heals so slow after that, and then you have to pick it back up in your inventory, wait for that timer to run out, and then throw it down again. Look, again, the game is just too fast-paced to be carrying around water sprites. At my number 13 spot is going to be the Med Mist Smoke Grenade from Chapter 6 Season 2. Genuinely, did you see anybody using this item? I don't know if I've ever seen this item been used a single time in Chapter 6 Season 2, and in theory, it's really not a bad item, right? You throw it down and everybody can just kind of hide inside the smoke, you get protected by the smoke, and you get white heals. Unfortunately, I found that the smoke actually hurts you more than it helps you, right? Because if you think about it, let's say you're in a box fight, right, and you get hit for a big pump shot, and you got to get those white heals in. You throw down the Med Mist Smoke Grenade, well, all of a sudden, now you can't see the person, and before you know it, that person just slides into your box, and they're right in front of you. I do see when this item can be helpful, but I just think there are so many better squad healing items on this list. My number 12 spot is the predecessor to the number 13 spot. It is the Med Mist. Now, the Med Mist to me is better than the Smoke Grenade version because at least the regular Med Mist is more mobile, right? Let's say two of your buddies just take a little bit of fall damage or something. Oh, you just spray them with the Med Mist and you can pocket the rest and just go on with your day, right? That is actually very valuable because you're not going to waste any of these heals. You're going to get the full utility out of all of it. But at the end of the day, it is a white heals only healing item, and that holds it back for me a bunch, to be honest with you. And my number 11 spot is going to be the shield keg. Now, this might come as a surprise to a lot of people because I know a lot of people really like the shield keg, but you guys heard me absolutely dog on the Cozy Campfire, right? And I think for good reason. Well, the shield keg is essentially just a shield version of the campfire, except it heals a little bit quicker, but the premise still stands that this game is way too fast-paced to just throw a keg down and have everybody just hang out for like 30 seconds to get all their shield back. Most of the time, you're going to throw this, and then, a third party's going to come, and, they're going to see all the shields splashing out of your box and say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna push them. Not to mention that if you are in like a layered 1x1 box, people below you or to the side of you can actually get the heals from this item, which is just not good. And yeah, dare I say, I think the shield keg is a tad bit overrated. I really think it's only good for post-fight healing. And my number 10 spot is the Lawless Slap Cannon. Now, you might be surprised to see it this high up on the list, considering I have dogged on this item so badly in every list that it's in, and I think rightfully so. I don't think that this is a good healing item at all, and that, of course, is because of the durability factor. Yes, this item can break. It is not infinite like its chug cannon predecessor or Juice's chug cannon, but the durability takes a pretty long time to break. If I remember correctly, I think it's like 20 to 30 uses before it breaks, so you're going to get a ton of value for this item, and while it is still in your hand and usable, it is actually really good. But the fact that it's got durability just kills it for me. I mean, who is using their Dilbit to buy the Lawless Slap Cannon? Absolutely nobody. And that's why you probably never saw this thing in Chapter 6 Season 2. I know I sure didn't. At number 9 is the Slap Splash, right? This is Chapter 4's version of the Chug Splash, and you guys know how this item works, right? You get 15 health or shield, or as I'm going to refer to it the rest of this video as effective health, and then you get the slap effect, right? It's just an all-around pretty decent healing item. It's not terrible. You know, they're going to drop in stacks of 2 on the ground. That's only going to get you 30 effective health, but you also have to consider the slap effect that goes with it, right? So if you wanted to put the Chug Splash ahead of the Slap Splash, I would understand it. They're basically interchangeable. And speaking of that item at the number 8 spot, yeah, it's going to be the Chug Splash as well as the Jellyfish. They actually function identically. They give you 20 effective health, and you just throw it at the ground or throw it at your buddy, whatever you want, and whoever's in that area is going to get the health. Again, like, this is the epitome of just a balanced healing item. It is not bad. It is not great. It is just really, really good, and most of the time, you're always going to find a good use for a Chug Splash when you find it on the ground. I have literally 0 complaints about this item. At number 7 is the Gold Splash. This is brand new to Chapter 6, Season 2, and I think it's actually pretty underrated. I mean, you use this item, you get increased sprint speed, increased pickaxe swing speed, and increased pickaxe damage, on top of, you know, you getting the normal effective health that you would for a regular Chug Splash. So it's definitely better than the regular Chug Splash. I don't think it's as useful in zero build as it is in build mode. The usefulness of the Gold Splash in build mode is really, really prevalent. You catch crazy good timings on opponents because they're not really expecting your pickaxe to be swinging that fast or to be doing that much damage. In zero build, this is basically just a regular Chug Splash, but the value here is really in build mode. My number 6 spot is the Chili Chug Splash. You get your same 20 effective health as the regular Chug Splash, but you get the hot pepper effect. You know, that spicy chili effect that's going to make you run faster. I put this ahead of the Gold Splash because its value can be seen in both zero build and build mode equally, in my opinion. It's good mobility, right? Like, it helps you get from point A to point B faster. My only complaint here is that normally they're just difficult to find on the map because they are exotics. At that number 5 spot is the Super Slap Splash, another exotic item, and this thing's really, really good. As the name suggests, it is just the regular Slap Splash on steroids. In fact, it doubles everything, right? So instead of 50 effective health and 30 seconds of slap, now you get 30 effective health and 1 minute of slap per use. I mean, think about that. 1 minute of slap for everybody on your team. Just using one of these is really, really good. And again, like, my only complaint about it is that they were just so difficult to find in Chapter 4, Season 3. So there's a good chance that some of you guys watching this video have never even used the Super Slap Splash before, but I have, and I'm telling you, it is really good. Moving on to number 4, that's going to be the Pizza Party item. This one was really, really difficult for me to rank because if you add up all the value that you get from every single pizza slice in the Pizza Party, granted, if you literally use every single HP and shield that the Pizza Party gives you, is one of the most valuable healing items of all time. But at the same time, you have to consider that there's a long process to actually use the Pizza Party, right? You got to pull out the item, then you have to throw it on the ground, then you gotta wait for the pizza box animation to happen, then you have to hold the interact button to pick up a slice of pizza, which then goes into your inventory, and then you have to take the time to eat the pizza, right? It's not like a Chug Splash, for example. You just throw it down instantly, there you go, there's all your health and shield. So I definitely had to consider, you know, that whole process when ranking this item, and that's why it misses the top 3 for me. And I know, I'm waiting for the comment section to say, oh, well, technically not everybody gets the Pizza Party effect at once. You have to throw down the pizza box. I'm not gonna argue with you guys in the comment section on that one. This item definitely deserves to be on this list, but it just misses the top 3. At my number 3 spot is going to be the Chug Cannon. I think there was a time in Fortnite history when this was the best squad healing item of all time. No question about it, really. This item was pretty revolutionary. I think when the Bandage Bazooka came out, we were all wondering, like, where is the shield version of this item? Because the regular Bandage Bazooka sucks, but a shield version would be really good. Well, now the Chug Cannon mixes both of those. You can get white heals, you can get shield. Yeah, it takes up 2 inventory slots, but it's absolutely worth it for an infinite healing item. Those are so valuable. You're going to take it every time. But at my number 2 spot is Juice's Chug Cannon. If you didn't even know this item existed, I wouldn't blame you. It was barely in Chapter 2 Remix towards the end of that season, and I'll keep it short and sweet here. It is literally the Chug Cannon, right? All the stats are the exact same, except that Juice's Chug Cannon gives you the Hop Rock ability, the low gravity effect, which is always going to be good paired with other items like shockwave grenades or to save you from fall damage, right? I'm literally putting it 1 spot ahead of the Chug Cannon because it is the Chug Cannon just with 1 bonus ability. But at my number 1 spot in the video today, guys, I think it was obvious it was going to be here. It is the Flowberry Fizz from Chapter 5. If you guys watched any competitive gameplay in Chapter 5, you will notice that every single team has Flowberry Fizz on them, and that's because the utility you get from this is unbelievable. Yes, obviously, you're going to get the shield for all your teammates, but it's not like the shield keg where you just throw it down, and let's say you only need 20 shield. Well, okay, well, now you just wasted the rest of the shield keg. No, you can do this in 5 healing increments, and then you can just pocket the rest and save it for another time. That is really usable, and every single time you use the Flowberry Fizz, anybody who's affected by it gets low gravity. So let's say you want to rotate to zone, right, where you just pop 1 5 increment of Flowberry Fizz, and now everybody gets mobility to rotate to zone. You can do that 20 times if you're using it effectively. That is just unbeaten in terms of mobility for your whole team, and in my opinion, it is clearly the best squad healing item of all time. Not really a question about it. All right, I hope you guys did go on to enjoy that video. You guys typically do like my healing items on the channel, although I don't do many of them, so if you want to see me rank more healing items in the future, be sure to leave this video a like so that I know you guys want to see that. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace.